Welcome to an episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Yeah, and we are live. And usually I don't do live streaming on the YouTube channel, but we got a lot to talk about what happened yesterday's Monday Night Raw. Before we start that, guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I also have a audio podcast that you guys can listen to through Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, audio podcast, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. But I wanted to get here because this is one of the things I'm going to be doing starting most likely maybe next year. I wanted to get more involved in the YouTube channel, just not on the audio. And last night I had the chance to sit down and watch the beginning of Monday Night Raw, and and of course, like always, when I get sit down and watch Monday Night Raw, they do their 15 to 10 minute promos, and everything goes chaotic, and then they decide, what match is gonna happen, who's gonna be teaming up with who, or we're gonna have repeat matches like they do every week. And I say, you know what? I don't want my fans on my audio podcast to think that I don't sit down and actually watch the show at all. Well, I didn't get to watch the whole entire show last night because I figured, they had Monday Night Football and they had other stuff going on. So to this morning, I decided, let me go and check out Monday Night Raw and what happened. And of course, when I put it from the spot when Bianca Belair was ready to wrestle Dolph. And now, according to podcasters and according to other people, this whole thing with Bianca Belair and Dolph has been going on for about 3 weeks already. And Bianca Belair beat her, I think, last week, and then Dolph attacked her. And it's sad because Piper Niven, who that's her real name before they put that stupid name Dolph on her, was a good wrestler when she was in NXT UK, and they're making her look like, okay, she looks dominant, but you have Bianca Belair picking her up in a torture rack, which is impressive because Bianca Belair is a very strong woman. And I was like, okay, and I saw the ending of it. I'm like, okay, so she beat her, now what? Because the women's division in Monday Night Raw is real weak, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to the Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan segment. But last night, the Monday Night Raw started off, again, 10-minute segment, and they pretty much decided that, you know what, let's tell the fans that Bobby Lashley, as the almighty Bobby Lashley, is going to become a babyface. Now, most of you probably think that I'm just going nuts and that I don't know what I'm talking about. And pretty much, that's not what happened, because they actually told you guys, the audience, that, that Bobby Lashley is going to be a babyface. And I say that because as soon as Big E came through, Bobby Lashley left MVP by himself. Now, Bobby Lashley and MVP been together for a while. Now, MVP's been walking around with this cane, and this cane was because he got hurt. I believe it was this year, and pretty much he's been walking around with this cane. And then at the end, Bobby Lashley left him in the ring by himself, and left him in there. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Next thing you know, you have Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens attack Bobby Lashley. Big E came to his aid. And as soon as I saw that, I said they are going to go on the route of teaming Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, a heel, to face Big E and Bobby Lashley by the end of the night. And that's before they even announced it. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They announced that, they said the first time ever, the greatest tag team match ever. I mean, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce are cringe because they're trying to play that authority stuff, which is you know, WWE Monday Night Raw reminds me of WWE 2K21, 20, whatever. It's like the games do the same thing, but with different people. There's authority figure shit. It just, to me, why we have this, it makes no sense. So that's exactly what it did. They made up a tag team to be main event of the night. Bobby Lashley versus Rollins and Owens. And sure enough, I was like, wow. You know? Wow. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show you where they're going with this. And then right after that, I think after the dough drop and whatever match, and Bianca Belair, again, Bianca Belair, we don't know where she's going to go after this. You know, most likely, is she going to get a title shot? What is going to happen? I mean, she lost to Becky Lynch already, or Big Time Bex, like they call her, which, whatever. So, where's going to happen to Bianca Belair? So, one thing that I noticed also, and which, like I said, I don't follow WWE Raw, but like last night I sat down, took notes, things that I say, this is why something is wrong with WWE. I noticed that Dana Brooke is running around with the 24/7 belt. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but is Dana Brooke the 24/7 champion? I'm asking because I don't know. Okay, but she's walking around with the other cat who won the belt from R-Truth. Next thing you know, you see Tamina trying to sneak up on Dana Brooke and whatnot. She's following it, but then you got R-Truth and Tozawa on the other side. And I'm saying to myself, okay, what's wrong with this picture? You know, what is wrong with this picture? Why is, first of all, Tamina and Dana Brooke, why those two girls have not been let go from the contract? Okay, I mean, Dana Brooks, not long ago, she was pretty much, pretty much she was dissed by Corey Graves. He made a comment, whatever, and her feelings were hurt, whatever. And I said to myself, they had let 81 wrestlers go, and Dana Brooke still have a job. Tamina, she still have a job. And it lets me to believe, okay, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? What is going on here? And I started questioning myself, like, so they got Tamina going after Dana Brooke to try to get the 24/7 belt, a worthless belt. A worthless belt. They still, with that stupid storyline, a worthless belt. And at the end of the day, supposedly R-Truth and Tozawa were trying to trick them. Tamina and Dana Brooke went at it. And at the end, there's no end to this stupid ass segment. It's not. There's no ending to it. There's no ending to it. So, I gotta ask that question, I don't understand it. I don't understand where they're going with as far as that is concerned, when it's going to end, why they even still have this belt around, who cares, And then they wonder, why they're losing fans. They wonder why they had to use half of the FSWR, whatever they call the Milwaukee Arena Forum where the Milwaukee Bucks play at. They use only half of the arena because they didn't sell. They're not selling tickets. And then you ask yourself, why? Look at the garbage that they put. Who cares about this 24/7? Nobody cares about that. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, Tamina, I was happy that Tamina won the tag team belt. That woman has busted her ass in there trying to get legitimized as a competitor, that she had a nice little feud with Nia Jax, and they still put her up. I think this all goes because of her father. You know what I'm saying? Father, of course, you know the story with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Supposedly killed this woman back in 1983. And, they never were able to, indict him for it because he had lost his memory. Then he died like a month or 2 months later. And that was bad publicity for WWE. So ever since that, you got to wonder, why is even this happening, So 24/7, unbelievable. But they turned it around afterwards because then you had the Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. They kind of put the video package of how all that started. I like what Austin Theory is doing. You know, he's this, very conceited, cocky type of guy. He's taking, selfies, whatever. The match between him and Finn Balor was good. I think it was not awesome, but it was there. It was great. I think it was the best match of the night. The best match of the night. People may disagree with me, but I think that was the best match of the night because you didn't know what's going to happen. I'm more of a cliffhanger type of guy. I don't know. I thought they were going to give the win to Austin Theory, but eventually they didn't. I don't like how Finn Balor is wrestling in WWE, and especially at the main roster. When he's down in NXT, he fights differently. He fights when the way he was wrestling in Japan. He comes up the freaking roster and he's wrestling WWE way. 3 moves. Okay, the match was decent. Austin Theory, of course, I praised him back in 2019 when I first saw him in Evolve. The guy's only 23 years old. He's the future, but he's in WWE. You never know what's gonna happen, So, it's still a question you gotta ask. How far is he gonna go? The match was pretty good, like I said. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that after the match was over, whatever, they were about Finn Balor was walking in the back. I think he was getting interviewed, and they jumped in Austin Theory, jumping him and whatnot. So basically, they're gonna have another match next week, probably. Again, this is what WWE does. They continue to show you, oh, this match is not enough. We'll give it to you this week again. And it's it's crazy. It's very crazy. So, and they continue to the rinse and repeat type of thing, and they keep doing it. So, incredible. But the biggest thing that I got out of all that, I believe, then after that I had the Miz TV. We knew that Almas and AJ Styles were in a trip to breaking up, but I didn't like the way they did this. They had Miz instigate the whole situation in Miz TV. It made it look like Miz TV is gonna be with Almas or Olmas, whatever his name is, and they were gonna turn on AJ Styles. But apparently, during this whole segment where AJ Styles then turned around and asked them, Olmas, is it true? The Mysterios came out, and they had their wrestling match. And then when AJ went to tag Olmas, whatever his name is, Olmas went and turned his back on him. Therefore, letting AJ Styles, saying to himself, so it's true. And he gets rolled over by Mysterio and he loses the match. Afterwards, the aftermath of the match, you saw AJ Styles and Omos get into it. And they got into a little scrap, and AJ went for his phenomenal form, but got caught, and I believe he got chokeslammed. And Omos said, "Next time I see you, will be a one-on-one match." And now they're scheduled for next week. I didn't like the way they did this because you could have done this in day one, the pay-per-view. Start the year fresh with with some type of heel turn or babyface turn, whatever. But they didn't. They pulled the trigger, and pretty much what they did was pretty much told you they're gonna have a match. But AJ Styles is supposed to go now to NXT 2.0 because NXT is doing so great. They need some star power, so now they're sending AJ Styles to NXT tonight at 2.0. I don't know, to wrestle some clown down there. So now you got to ask the same question. I'm like, so are they going to write him off next week and now he's going to be at NXT and wrestling whatever is left of his contract down there, or what? So that's it. They kind of contradicted themselves because they said that they want no one at NXT that was 40 or 35 years old, whatever, older down there, because there was going to be all young people, all kinds of shit. So, so that's that. Afterwards, Again, the Miz TV thing, I was like, do we really need to have the Miz TV? Anyway, Damien Priest defended his. Actually, I don't think he defended the belt, the United States belt. He had a match with Dolph Ziggler. The ending of that match pretty much tells you that Dolph Ziggler is getting another title shot, and they made Damien Priest look stupid, like he didn't know what he was doing. He attacked Bobby Roode. He gets counted out, and now, Dolph Ziggler gets another title shot. I don't know what they're doing with this guy. And am I the only one who knows this, that Damien Priest is the first Puerto Rican United States champion from any promotion, whatever United States champion, that any other promotion that did it back in the days, the NWA, WCW, WWE. I mean, we had Eddie Guerrero being the first, I think he was the first Mexican to win the title. I could be wrong. But Damien Priest is the first Puerto Rican to actually win the United States title. I got to do my research. I could be wrong, but I'm going to check that out. But yeah, so Damien Priest, he has these double personality where he loses his cool. I don't know where they're going with that. So, if they're going to push something, push it already. Stop playing games, So, Austin Theory. Again, I felt that they showed them running around looking for Vince McMahon. So, that was that. Then they had another talk show, The Cutting Edge. This all to promote the soon-to-be intergender match between Edge, Beth Phoenix against Maurice and Miz. So that is going to happen very soon, because last night you saw Maurice playing the role that, the Miz doesn't do anything in the house. She does everything. She take care of the kids. She changes the pampers. And Edge wasn't falling for it. Only for Miz to come out and attack Edge, or they started going at it because Edge wasn't falling for it, whatever. And then Edge got caught with the, skull crush finale. And then before that, Maurice smacked Edge over the head with the purse. She hit him twice. So, we know where this is going. Now, best believe Beth Phoenix may come out this next week or day one. Never know. I don't know if I think they're wrestling each other, but that could happen, though. But do you really care about this intergender match that's going to come up? And if you don't believe me, it's going to happen. It might happen. They might set it up for next week. I could see it happen, and then they're going to have a day one intergender match. So, Vince McMahon. This is the one spot that I was like, yo, this old man has some balls bigger than grapefruits, and that's what he says. He got balls bigger than grapefruits. Because in his promo with Austin Aries, he said, I love firing people. Pretty much telling you in that segment and telling the fans, whether you like it or not, he's going to fire people because he loves firing people. Now, mind you that this year alone, 81 wrestlers had been let go from WWE. Okay? One of them ended up coming back, which was Samoa Joe, and we still haven't seen Samoa Joe since he won his NXT title, which they forced him to vacate it. And we haven't seen him. But now the question is, is he really, is Austin Theory might be next, because he said, I don't like investing on people that's gonna fail me. So pretty much he's told you that those 81 wrestlers that he let go failed him, or because McMahon has. He likes a wrestler 1 minute, and the next minute he doesn't like them because, they're like new toys for him. Now he's pushing Austin Theory. And I think with him being a Monday Night Raw as a character, that's who he really is. That's not a character. That's who he really is. The guy fires anybody. He doesn't care. He don't care at all. So that tells you right there a lot. What he felt. That he don't like, he'll fight anybody, whether you like it or not. The old man, WWE's not going to get better until he leaves. Rhea Ripley And Rhea Ripley had a match with Selena Vega. I don't care who won that match, but Rhea Ripley, they had destroyed this woman bad. This woman was a dominant NXT Women's Champion. This woman, ever since Charlotte beat her, that woman has not been the same. Now, you could say, yeah, she won the Raw's title, whatever, but that didn't mean nothing because, I believe Charlotte, I don't know who she lost the damn freaking belt to, but I mean, Rhea Ripley, it's not been the same. Selena Vega, I mean, her promo, she came out nice, whatever, and then she started talking Spanish, which I got nothing wrong because I'm Spanish myself. Started talking Spanish to a Milwaukee crowd, and then called herself that she was ranting a raven. I just feel bad for her. I mean, in a way, she's walking around with a tag team belts with a division that doesn't have women's tag team. So Carmella and her being tag team champions, do we really care? Let's be realistic on that. I mean, I don't know. It's funny that they put so much investment in this and nothing comes out of it. It's crazy. Then they had the Becky Lynch and the Liv Morgan. The skit that they have where Liv Morgan was showing the video, it was cringe. And I'm gonna say it was cringe. It was cringe. They didn't they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care that they actually make this girl go up there and do a promo. She can't do a promo for beans. So how's she gonna become world champion? Well, they dropped the ball, and I'm gonna say that they dropped the ball when it came to giving her the belt the first time she wrestled Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch, she cheated and beat Liv Morgan. Now they're trying to make it up. But doing this video where she went to Becky Lynch, a private school, attempted to hit Becky Lynch, who she thought was Becky Lynch in the ring, and it was somebody else. It reminded me of Raw Underground, but with lights. Because that's what it looked like. The way they filmed it, it was like Raw Underground. I was like, this is bad. Then she's walking around with a candlestick. She says that, she beat the crap out of Becky Lynch with one arm. And this is what we have. And isn't me that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, their wardrobe are horrendous? What the hell did Seth Rollins had on yesterday? My head was shaking. I'm like, he looks horrible every week. Becky Lynch, walking around with a fur coat, looked like she just killed a German Shepherd outside and wore his fur. And I'm like, it's cringe what she does. She doesn't fit as a heel. She's trying too hard. That's the way I look at it. Then we had the main event between Big E and the team of Bobby Lashley and Big E versus Rollins and Kevin Owens. They dominated most of the match when they kept Bobby Lashley in the corner. They were trying to take him out. Big E came in at one point. All hell broke loose. Bobby Lashley speared Big E by mistake. And they ended up, I believe, I think Kevin Owens got pinned and Seth Rollins tried to stop it. I think the referee messed up on that. Because I think this guy got out of the 2 count. But they called it. They continued to attack Bobby Lashley, taking him out and taking out Big E. And then Owens and Rollins left as like their best friends. Meanwhile, these guys are going to be wrestling each other at day 1. Does this make any sense? So now, and then to top it off, during the night, MVP approached Bobby Lashley asking him, did you have my back out there? And he sent him to go get water. And then, then again, I think he spoke to Big E, so don't worry, I took care of MVP. So there it goes, guys. I'm telling you, Bobby Lashley is going to be a babyface. For the simple fact, they don't have any babyface. They really don't. They only got Rey Mysterio and his son. They may have some type of feud coming up. Damien Priest, you don't know if he's a heel or not. Big E, they're not using him properly. They are just, his title reign has been horrendous. The guy won the belt beating Bobby Lashley. He cashed in his Money in the Bank. And then instead of, pushing him and whatever, they put him in the ring with Roman Reigns. And then, Roman Reigns beat him like nothing. And then he has gotten pinned in non-title matches. Come on. This is ridiculous the way I look at it. And the fact that WWE, this is my last point. The fact that they don't respect the WWE World Title. They put the WWE Universal Title higher than the World Title. The World Title has been around since 1963. First won by Buddy Rogers. And the lineage of that with, we could go with Bruno Sammartino, won that twice. The only man in history of that title to hold the belt for almost 7 years, and then 11 years title reign. Okay, Hulk Hogan, who held that belt for 4 years. Bob Backlund, 5 years, 3 times WWE champion, or WWF champion. Okay, the lineage of that, of the guys who held those belts, Hogan, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, who else is in there? Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. You know what I'm saying? And the lineage of that, and all of a sudden, the WWE Universal title, who has been around for 5 years, is the title with more prestige than the WWE title. Does that make any sense? And if you guys want to come and say, "Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about," then do your research and check the history of the WWE World title. Okay, that belt should be prestige. That belt, even Ric Flair, when he won that belt the first time, he even said it. Every wrestler's dream is to come to WWF and win the most prestigious world title, and that was the WWF. Even though he was the NWA World Champion, the NWA has a lineage, a history since 1947, but everybody wanted to win the WWF title. And now the WWE World title, because now it's WWE, is not even respected. It's treated like a secondary title. And if you think I'm wrong about that, I'm cool with that. At the end of the day, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens when you got people who don't just go to these events, and especially the WWE fan base, who are loyal to WWE no matter what goes wrong. You just want to go online and troll everybody, but you don't know the history of the WWE World title. Now, the reason that the Universal title is so prestigious because Roman Reigns is the champion. But if Roman Reigns had the world title, then it would be a different story. And I'm speaking facts. A lot of people may not agree with me, and you got the right to not agree with me. So, anyway, this is the end of the stream. Let me know what you think about my review on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. I'm sure next Monday. So pretty much, I think this was the go home show for Monday Night Raw, because they're not gonna be live next week. Next week, I think it's pre-recorded. They might call it the go home show, but let me know what you think. Leave me your messages and all that stuff, and let me know what you think. Your honest opinion. Listen, I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of negative feedback, whatever, but I don't lose sleep on that, because I already know that there's a certain amount of wrestling fans, they apologists, that they will come up with stories and they'll tell you anything. But next week they're gonna be repeats. Trust me, they're gonna be repeats of matches. So again, guys, follow me on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Follow me here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for new uploads or streaming. And check me out. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Or not even video, the stream. Let me know what you think. And let me know your thoughts on that. So that's it. And then also, if you guys want to check my website, tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. I got hats, hoodies, and t-shirts, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, and you could check that out. And same, if you go to the YouTube channel, that logo has it on the hoodie, has it on the hat, has it on t-shirts. I got other t-shirts in there. Check it out, support. And also, you can check out my audio podcast. Like I said earlier, you'll find me on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and any audio podcast, major audio podcast that you guys like to listen to your show. And that is it for me today, guys. Stay safe. Wear that mask if you have to. Things are getting crazy again. And I hope that you guys are cool. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll get back in here if there's anything big news or anything.